This is 5 keys for churches to double in 12 months through digital outreach. We're doing this. We're going to do a whole webinar, and at the end, we're going to talk to you a little bit about ChurchLink and how we can help you out. But first of all, I'll just introduce myself, and this is Tom, my partner. He'll introduce himself, and I'm Eric Roberts. I live here in Nashville. This is my son, Augie, my puppy, Bear. I think he left the room. Bear has left the room, actually. He's not even in here. And it's my wife, Emily. And I've been doing digital marketing and worship and everything since I was a teenager, actually. Since I became a Christian in late high school, I started leading worship, and I run the YouTube channel Worship the King, and also the Apex Piano Technicians Network. I have top-selling books on Amazon. And, basically my whole life I've just been creating content. Books, videos, courses. I have thousands and thousands of tutorial videos for worship leaders and for people to really learn how to do great skills with their life and increase their income. And that's what I've been doing. And that's how Tom and I met. So this is Tom Scarella, my partner. Tom, tell them about you.
Yeah. Hey guys, good to see everybody. Tom Scarella, my wife Susie, and I been in full-time ministry for 40 years, and we pastored about 8 years. In the last 30 some years, we've been traveling ministers, a little over 1,200 churches all over the world. We actually just flew back. We haven't even had a chance to put this yet out there, but we just flew back from DC, and we were in Washington, DC with Paula White and that's Dr. Ben Carson and Paula White, as well as, there's Dr. Franklin Graham and Paula White. And we were asked to be part of a commission, a religious commission, for this administration. And so, yeah, it was a great honor. That was on Monday. And so this whole week has kind of been a blur, but we're so excited. We partnered up with Eric here a few months ago. We've been kind of brainwashing.
He's brainwashing me.
Just help me. We've been actually, just kind of talking about how we can help churches and pastors and with their ministry. About 18 months ago, I started experimenting with Facebook ads. One of our partners began to start to show me some different stuff with Facebook ads for ministry. And he's a Canadian guy and just took our ministry to another whole level with, social media advertising, all kinds of different stuff. So kinds of brings us full circle. A few months ago, Eric and I, we put something together called ChurchLink so that we could help other churches. So we've been experimenting with this for over a year, and the results have been unbelievable. We'll share just a little bit more with you about it. So, yeah.
So I'm hoping you're here because you want to grow your church. You want to reach new people for the gospel. You want to fill empty seats. As a worship leader, as in ministry, I would get frustrated. And this is one of the biggest reasons I'm here is because my pastors that I would work with, instead of just evangelizing and solving the problem of how to get people in the church, they would remove chairs from their church and scoot everybody towards the front so that everybody didn't notice that the church was dwindling, And I always thought we have this powerful message. Why are we not just exploding? And in my digital life, I'm doing all kinds of things all the time, running Facebook ads, running funnels, doing all these digital marketing things. And I'm looking at the church and I'm thinking, they're not really doing that overall. It doesn't seem to be the mindset. So if you're here because you want to reach new people, you want to fill the empty seats, not just take them out, and you want to use new media to thrive, that's what we're going to talk about today. And that's what we're going to show you how you can do.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of different pastors that I've spoken to, over 1,200 pastors in the last 30 some years, way over that. And most of them have the same thing, Eric. They want to see their churches grow, and they're frustrated because their people aren't bringing the guests like they want. You know what I mean? And the average American church right now is about 65 people, right around 65 people. That's the average American church. So if you're above that, you're in a top percentile. Okay, if you're below that, you're in a lower percentile. But we shared this with a friend of ours in Wisconsin, and we helped him with some Facebook ads. And he gave us this testimonial. He's so excited about it. I'll just quickly read it to you. I've been able to monthly draw brand new visitors, he said, to my rural Wisconsin church. He's very rural. That's an understatement. With ChurchLink Facebook ads. So he said, I'm thrilled. I even planted a new church with Facebook ads in Green Bay, had 90 visitors his first service. There are people that never even heard of him. And so we know this guy a long time, more than 15 years. And he's just, over the top excited because he was able to apostolically start something, plant a church, if you call it accidentally, through some Facebook ads and some follow up and stuff, that we were able to help him. And so he's so thrilled. Now he's got another problem. He's got 2 campuses he's got to deal with. And so his church has just been busting at the seams.
Right. And I think about those problems that you could have if you started saying getting 10 new first-time visitors every month to your church. If you could imagine just happening sort of automatically, because as we talk about ChurchLink and what we're going to do, it's really a digital automatic funnel. So you're not having to do a lot of extra work. You kind of set it up and it's all set up. And then imagine 10 first-time visitors every month coming into your church. If you're talking about the average church of 60, 75, 80 people, that's a lot of people every single month. What could that do? And if you put that out over a year, that's over 100 visitors to your church in 1 year, over 100 first-time visitors. And so I did start thinking about that, Tom, and I was like, man, that could be overwhelming if you're a small church pastor and all of a sudden you could have new problems like, oh, we need more chairs, we need a bigger room, maybe we need to go 2 services. I mean, it depends on your building size. But this kind of thing can happen, and it could create a good problem, right? Better.
Absolutely. I think I froze there for a minute. Sorry, guys.
Did he? He's freezing all the time.
But I mean, if you just think about it, Eric, if a church is able to just draw 10 new visitors a month, I mean, we just went and ministered in Ohio. And in Ohio, we did some Facebook ads, and we were able to draw 47 brand new visitors that never even heard of that church or never even heard of us. And so
wow.
47 visitors, just for one event. And so if you can imagine doing something like that as a church. So the numbers you're giving are really actually very, very on the conservative side.
Yeah, I mean, this is just if you think about because we're going to talk about what we can really do in doing this, and you can scale it up. But if you just had 10 people every month walking in, that's over 100. If you had 20, that'd be 200. The numbers can get crazy, but can it be this easy? I mean, I don't know, Tom, if you went to that country church, and that was a smaller church, right? And the pastor, I know you were telling me the pastor's looking around like, where are all these people coming from? What is happening? And you're like, I just turned on my ChurchLink ad funnel and you brought all these people to this rural church service. So I want to try to express in this webinar that it is really it's kind of technical and complicated and all that when you think about doing it. But Tom and I have been doing this for our whole lives. Ever since Facebook was around, that's what we do. We live in this world, and that's why we've created ChurchLink. So yes, it can be that easy for you. And so in the top of the webinar, we talked about 5 different things that you could double your church in a year. And I'm going to have Tom, we're going to go through these things, just kind of explaining the different layout of how the church is now. I mean, when I started my guitar lesson program, YouTube wasn't even around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, you've seen this, we have both seen this progression of media, and we've seen how the church is reacting to it. So we're going to talk about that and want to try to change our mind shift to think like, could I double my church? That sounds crazy. I mean, as churches are sort of dwindling down and people are feeling, oh, nobody wants to go to church. But then you can look at other churches that are just exploding and other businesses who are just making a lot of money. And you think, well, what are they doing? So let's talk about what those best practices are.
Yeah, I was telling Eric and I were talking about this a while ago, and I was telling him when I was starting the traveling ministry 30 some years ago, at the very beginning of the internet, churches thought it was irrelevant and nobody's going to use it, and how could it be used for God and all of this stuff, And I remember even all the way back in 2000, just 25 years ago, most churches still did not have a website. A large amount of churches didn't. And then 10 years ago, it was the same thing. Many churches are like, why do I need a Facebook page? I've got one for myself. And, and here we are now 10 years later. It's like, if you don't have that as a church, you're so far behind the eight ball.
Yeah, but that's okay if you don't have a website. And that's what I love about what we've put together and how we're getting ready to roll this thing down. You don't have to have any of this infrastructure, because I know that's what I do in my life, is just build infrastructure. And it is a lot of work. And if you don't do it all the time, it can be very overwhelming. And so that's why I think a lot of churches, they don't have they just said, we don't have the people. It's like, we don't have the guy to run the soundboard. We don't have the technical stuff. And the pastor can't do every little single thing. So that's true. You need a front door. I looked at research this week, and it says that, 33% of Americans are going to attend a church service in person, this week or whatever. 23% of them, not of the 33, but 23% of Americans are going to attend church online. Okay, so it's a crazy thing that you've got. People are going to your digital assets, your Facebook page, your YouTube channel. They're going to your website. They're looking for you, because that's where people are glued to their phones. So
Right.
if you're not really in that space, do you even exist in their mind? No, you don't exist.
Wow.
So email isn't dead either. It's underrated, and I think that we've heard different things come out and everything's new, but email is still really probably the best way to communicate and to market to people and to connect with people. Look at this: the average person checks their email 20 times a day. I at least check my email that much.
Yeah.
I
Me
mean,
too.
it's kind of obsessive, but if I email one of my people on my team, and sometimes it's like the middle of the night, they'll email me right back, and it's like they're checking their email all the time too. People are checking their email. They're connecting on their phones. They're connecting on their email. And if you're not using email campaigns to keep your visitors warm, to nurture them after their first visit, that says nature. That's a typo. How do you spell nurture?
And you are there. It is.
Nature. Nurture them after their first visit, and you can increase their retention, because they're going to be connected to you. So email isn't dead, but are you sending emails? Are you pastors sending emails?
Some of you are already utilizing that through things like Constant Contact, MailChimp, other different, email, means and stuff. And some churches do none at all. I know some churches that have no way to contact their people or visitors for upcoming, conferences or whatever, and so, and then they don't realize that, if people are checking their email 20 times a day, it's just a great way to reach them. Obviously, which brings up text and SMS.
Yeah, I started using text pretty recently, and I had this moment in my mind where I was like, why was I not doing this 5 years ago? So you guys don't want to do that. You're here now, so think about that. I've been doing all this marketing, and then you follow the fads, and you do, okay, I'll try this. Back in the days, like, I'll run a phone book ad, or I'll run a newspaper ad. Okay, I'll try this ad, and it's so overwhelming. But I started using text messages and for some of my online digital marketing for myself, and I have seen a huge amount of people connecting with me. I can't believe how many people text me right back, like, hey, I just sent them a text. You got any questions about this program, about this course that we're doing? And they'll just text me right away. Yeah, what about this? How can I do it? And you're talking to real customers. Like, it's so much. To me, it feels so much more exciting than email, but I think just because it's new and it's instant, and 98% of people are going to open their text messages within minutes. That's insane.
See, that's one thing. When Eric and I incorporated this into ChurchLink for our own ministries, as well as for a couple of other beta testers, like our friend Jacob, that's when we really saw many more people begin to attend. Like, we went in as an experiment. We went to a more rural area. We rented a hotel, and we did our own conference, and we did it through email and SMS marketing, mixed with Facebook ads, more specialized Facebook ads. not just clicking, what is it that they always
Boost a post.
Boost.
Yeah, boost.
Yeah, boost. You might as well just hand your money to Facebook. It's just the biggest waste of money. But so we, kind of with this whole package together, we were able to generate, Eric, 157 people that never heard of us, in a rural town. 157, and
that's
so
insane.
yeah, so that's absolutely a game changer. I know some of you that are watching this, and some of you that'll watch the replay of this, you want to do something, to reach not just your current city, but maybe you want to start something else in another town. That's a great, means by which that you could do that. And but even to just boost the current church you're at, to see it grow, like Eric brought up. If you thought of it just in terms of what if you got 10 brand new visitors a month, never heard of you every single month. And if you kept, a retention of 70%, let's just say 70% of that 120 you got over the course of the year, you're talking 80 some people joined your church. Well, if your church is already 80 people, you just doubled your church.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of crazy. The digital numbers are insane. You can't really, it's hard to wrap your mind around them. But like, for example, for my piano technician program, in the last, I think 4 or 5 weeks, we've got over 1,000 people who have never heard of us, who are actually now texting with me through my text system, just like what we're doing in ChurchLink. So it's like, I think 980 new opt-ins of people who are like, yeah, I want to learn about this. So that's 980 for me, opportunities to connect with new students all over the country. And like Tom was saying, 150 people hearing about him and coming to a rural church. These numbers are crazy, and you can just kind of you can use this for your local church so well. It works so well. Social ads are going to bring in new visitors. All right. SMS will keep them connected. And imagine being able to, as a pastor, this is what I get kind of excited about. Somebody's looking for you in their community, and they find you and they put in their thing, and then you can actually text with them before they ever visit. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? What do you want me to pray for you for? It's very, very fluent. And then they can say, yeah, I'm coming into your church. I mean, they will already know you a little bit before they ever walk in the door. Well, there are some systems that can work. And if you put this together, like ChurchLink, if you do something like this, it will be sort of like an automatic engine of growth. And so it gives you opportunities, more and more opportunities. So this is sort of like what a funnel looks like. This is a marketing funnel, but this is what ChurchLink will put in place for your church. So as we go through this sort of technical stuff, you don't have to worry about it, because at the end, all you got to do is sign up for a few simple things. You type in a few things, and we do all this. We're the ChurchLink
we do all the
app.
hard lifting and hard,
Yeah. So all you really have to do is, sign up at the end of this webinar or this week or whatever, and then provide some basic information, and then we're going to put this automation in place. But it is automatic. So people will be searching on Facebook, on Instagram. They'll find your church ad in your city, and they will put in their information. And from that, it'll go into a ChurchLink automation where it can email and text them. It can send you the leads right away. You can email and text them, but we set up an automated series to get them warmed up to actually do that first-time visitor. And then we send you all the leads that are basically set out through this. So every month you'll have a whole list of these people. You can send them postcards, you can write them letters, you can do everything, text them, email them yourself as well. But you don't have to do anything. The beauty of this and the simplicity of this is you can actually just sign up and just watch people walk in your front door and just work really hard on being a pastor and helping to keep them there and keep them encouraged and help them get saved, help them find that hope that you're preaching about every Sunday that they're missing if they don't get into this funnel.
Yeah.
There's no need for you to have a website for your church. There's no need for you to really have a Facebook page to run this. Okay, so we talked in the front about all the stuff you should be doing. And of course, you could say, well, yeah, I should be doing all this. I should have all this stuff set up, but I can't because whatever reason. It doesn't matter. With ChurchLink, we run all your ads for you. We run everybody through the ChurchLink connection Facebook page. They will be connected to you right through there. You don't have to have a Facebook page or a website. And we can help you get those things set up as a consulting team and as sort of a team when you join in. We're going to help you go to the next level, but you don't have to have any of that. We're going to run your weekly leads list. We'll deliver it to your church. We're going to actually give them that automation of email and texting and all that, getting them to get into your front door. But all you have to do is give us the service times, infos, who you're trying to reach, like what age group, what style of church, and we create that video that's customized for you, okay? And, you know, I was thinking about smaller churches. They're like, well, now that we have 100 people or 200 people a year coming to our church, how do we do this? How do we keep up with this? Well, we have a mini book and a lot of resources to help you, recruit a team to call those people, to do follow-up, because really you have to do all of that stuff. You have to follow up. You have to ask people. And
Right.
I've learned that in my ministry. If you don't ask people, they're not going to do anything. If you just
Right.
don't ask basic church people to help, they're not going to do anything. So we will help you get those people involved.
So, during this beta testing time, something that is kind of been on the hush hush. Eric and I have been talking to another gentleman. His name is Thomas Rayner, and he's got a fantastic ministry that is based out of Nashville as well.
It's
And
Church Answers. Yeah, churchanswers.com.
yeah,
Rainer.
Church Answers. And so he's going to bring us on to his, what do you call it, podcast. And once that happens, it's going to kind of go crazy. So we're just right now in the very, very beginning month, we're offering everything to the beta testers. So if you look at the website, you will see the different tiers. There's a bronze tier, there's a silver tier, there's a gold tier, and then there's a custom tier beyond that. And so with all of those in mind, here we go. So here is in the ChurchLink. That's another webinar we did. We simplified it to just the bronze tier and the silver tier. Okay. And for us to be able to reach the maximum amount of people that we can for you, obviously we'll reach more at the silver tier, which is the $9.97 a month. But even the $4.97, I'm telling you, we're going to see at least 10 to 20 brand new visitors hit your church every single month. And those are conservative numbers. It could be much higher, okay? Depending on, of course, the size of your city, if you're in Detroit or, but if you're in, Kalamazoo, it's not, it's going to be a little bit of a different ratio, you understand? But I'm telling you that, what we're going to offer is only for the beta testers. We're going to offer them the maximum benefits that every other tier gets. Okay, so just kind of FYI. So you guys are a very elite group of people that are watching this webinar right now.
Yeah, I mean, in the beta, you're gonna have the opportunity to share your feedback to build the product. You're gonna have a concierge level support, early feature access. So anything we're doing, we're kind of like an inner circle test group. Because we've been running these ads, we know it works for us. We've seen our friends run these ads. We've seen these funnels work. But we're gonna bring you in once this gets fully launched. There will be there'll be breakout tiers. There'll be other things that happen. But you guys in this beta, if you can look at this and go, yeah, I want to reach people. Yeah, I got to get my game. I got to up my game with the social media. I know I'm kind of behind, or I'm feeling like I'm just not winning that game. Like, there is an opportunity out there, and I know it's out there, but I'm just trying to get my head around it. The beta test would be amazing for you because we're going to be sharing everything with you. We're going to be really a lot closer to you. Once hundreds or thousands of people are in this, it's going to spin up. But right now, we're just kind of like on the ground floor. For example, there will be so we start running your video, and you'll just get to pick from a template of videos, once the program is completely rolled out. But for beta, we're going to actually make custom videos for each one of your churches. So
Right.
we'll talk to you, we'll figure out what you want to say, how you're feeling, and try to put your flavor on it. So it's going to be a little more personal probably than it as this thing grows, as anything
Right.
happens. It becomes
Yeah.
template driven. And if you've worked with any software, it's like the bigger it gets, the more, it gets better, but it also gets more, it less custom. So in
Right.
this beta test, you are really being invited in to help us. And we're testing out some funny videos, some serious videos, some evangelistic videos. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do to get people interested in your church. And so we're going to be exploring all of that with you. So it'll be a learning experience as well, not just, hey, fill out this form and then watch visitors come in. You can do that too, but I think that you're going to get excited and get more involved in that inner workings of how this is working and how it's changing your church, right?
I agree. I think it's going to really, really help a lot of you guys to get a brand new group of people and younger people. Most churches I go to, there's too many silver-haired people and not enough younger folks. And so we need to get our churches younger. And this is a fantastic way because we're utilizing both Facebook ads, Instagram ads as well to draw that younger crowd. And so, but yeah, so some of the biggest questions that people are going to have, what's included in the ChurchLink beta testers. So why don't you go through that, Eric, kind of what's included? Obviously, number one, he said already, you're going to get a custom made video, tailored just for your church. Okay. Two, you're going to get as well, you're going to get the leads. Okay. So no matter what level you purchase at, you're going to get all the leads that you could remarket back to. Now, what that looks like is this. So let's say hypothetically, we're going to, let's just say Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Okay. And so we're going to set yours up for Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And say, for example, we have 110 leads come in, but you only get 25 visitors that show up that month from these ads. You're still going to get leads that you can remarket again and again for upcoming conferences or upcoming events or just regular church services.
Yeah, that's a really big deal because, over the year, let's say you're getting 100 or 150 opt-ins to your church. They want to know more about it. But, maybe 10 or 15 of those people actually visit. At the end of the year, you're going to do a harvest party. You're going to do a Christmas service.
Right.
You now have over 1,000 emails and text message numbers that you can send out. Hey, we're doing a big thing. We're doing a kids thing. We're doing VBS. I mean, You're building, just like all digital marketers and all companies in America, they're building a subscriber base that's interested in their product. And that's what I feel like that the church is missing. And that's what I'm hoping that in the beta test and as you're in this webinar with us, that you're going to go, oh, wait a minute. I could have thousands of people that are in my city that are interested in my church, even if they're not coming yet. But I have their leads. And we will help you build that infrastructure. So you're going to get the leads, and you're going to get those first-time visitors, and you're going to get a set email series that's written for you, from you, to them. It's all going to happen behind the scenes. So you're not going to be thinking about this all day, every day. You're just going to be like, yeah, I did ChurchLink, and, oh, we got a couple visitors. How'd you hear about us? Oh, Facebook. Oh, this, that. You're going to be doing what you do as a pastor. You're not going to be in the weeds. So what you have to do is nothing. Just sign up. Send us some information, maybe, communicate with us for that couple days to here's what I want it to look like. Here's how our church feels. And then we go ahead and run your ads and do it all for you.
Now, I might jump ahead here. So if I do, Eric, forgive me.
Yeah,
but,
go ahead.
A lot of times some pastors say, well, where would I come up with X amount of dollars to do something like this? Well, number one, in the case of you beta testers, this is not a subscription. Okay, so we're doing this month to month just for the beta testers. Moving forward, for the other people that sign up, there is going to be a subscription of a minimum of 3 months. Okay, but there is no subscription to you who are going to sign up with us as a beta tester. So you could try it 1 month. And let me bring up this. Secondly, is you can ask some folks in your church to sponsor it. And say, hey, listen, this is going to cost our church an additional X amount of dollars a month. can I count on you to sponsor us? We want to do this for, through the rest of the year. So for the next 3 months, can you sponsor us, or for the next 12 months or whatever it is that you want to do?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
a lot of
you have
people
to ask. I mean, if you're a small church and you don't have the funds, it's minimum $497 a month. I'll show the beta pricing, but $500 to $1,000 a month. It sounds like a lot, and it is a lot of money. But you might say, well, I don't have that much money. But there you know this as a pastor already. There are resources in your church, and maybe. Sometimes when we ask and we don't get, it's because we're not asking for enough. We're not asking for a big enough thing. We're not solving a big enough problem. If you can tell your people in your church, look, this is a huge problem for us. We're not reaching our community. They can look around and see that. They already feel that in their heart, their mind. Trust me, people look around when the church is empty and they think like, well, why is nobody else here? They have those same feelings. So I think you put this out as a mission and you just tell them, look, we're going to step out in faith. We're going to believe that if we spend $500 or $1,000 a month doing this program, that it's going to increase the numbers. It's going to reach the people in our community, and it's going to happen.
And if you get one family that joins from it, their tithe is going to more than cover the amount of the leads and the ads. So,
I mean, as a business idea, I think like business person. And then you have like you're thinking as a pastor, and then you're thinking over here as like a secular business person or any business person. It's a no-brainer when it comes to money because if you added 10 families to your church this year and they became tithers, this would be profit. You would be in the money. You'd be well into the profit, even if you're talking about this as a business proposition. And not that I want to be all businessy with the church, but I always wonder like why aren't more pastors thinking of their church like a business? Like it is a thing that I have to run. We have bills to pay. We have a building. I mean, it is a sort of like a business. And when you think of the business, you have to bring in people and build that up. You have to kind of start thinking like that instead of just thinking, oh, I'm just gonna. Instead of just kind of leaving all those business tools on the table and just thinking, well, why isn't anybody coming? I sat through too many staff meetings where they just kind of racked their brains. Why isn't nobody want to come to our church? They don't want to hear the gospel. Why aren't they coming in to hear what we want to talk about? It's like, that's not going to bring people to the church. That's not going to help.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to get where the people are. And so, which brings up the next question. Can I cancel since it's not a subscription? Can I cancel? Sure, you can cancel. However, because monies are going to be spent on your church with Facebook, we can't get a refund because those monies are already gone. You understand?
Yeah. So month to month, if you do the first month and say, I don't want to do this anymore, which I don't believe anybody's ever going to say that. No, but for whatever reason, if you think, I don't want to do this, or we just ran out of money, you can cancel anytime. There are no contracts. It's not like the Yellow Pages back in the day. They say you sign up for 3 years and this much a month. And that's a great business model for the Yellow Pages, but it was terrible for us marketers or businesses. And you do not need your own digital presence. So you don't need to run this. You don't need a Facebook page, a YouTube channel, a website. You don't really need anything, but everything is coming from ChurchLink. And so the more you have, the better. And we have resources for you to build all of that. We can help you build all of that. I wouldn't worry about it if you don't have that, and you don't need it to start, okay?
Yeah, exactly. It's not necessary. But there's the website. You can go to the website, getchurchlink.com, and you can enroll. Because like Eric and I said, I know quite a few of you are on this webinar right now. You're like, hey, this is a no-brainer. This is stupid easy. And you could go on there right now, even as I'm speaking, and you can sign up. And then what we'll do is we'll contact you. We'll get your cut.
Tom froze.
Your church. Sorry, everybody.
Did you go? You froze for it.
Oh, my bad. So you can just go there and you can sign up right away. And so you can get started immediately. Just click to enroll. But like Eric said at the very beginning, is that we're only going to take a select amount of people. We can only take about roughly around 10 to 12 churches to start off, because you're our beta group. We want your testimony of what God did for you. So that's what we want.
Yeah, it is a limited group. We're going to close this down after this week or next week. Whenever we get about 10 or 12, we can take about that many, and that's it, because we're going to launch this out once this is completely launched, once the beta is completely tested. Then we're going to be, we are partnering. We haven't like officially partnered, but we are waiting. Church Answers is kind of standing by, like, basically, let's work this out, let's make this work, because they want to be a part of this, and they see this as a huge issue in the church. They are like one of the biggest church development consultants in America and across the world. They work with everybody, and they've kind of said, like, this is a huge problem. If you can solve this, we're going to bring this to everybody that we work with. So we really have this very limited time to make this to test this out, not only to get you visitors, but also to kind of develop that, like, yeah, this really works well for me. This is what I love about this, so that we can bring this to the bigger church overall, the church across the world. So you are going to get all this stuff. You're going to get a custom outreach video, Facebook ads done for you, automated email and text journey that follows up with each visitor. You're going to get a weekly list of ads, people interested. You're going to get our Ask Mini book that's going to help you. We're going to help you sort of build up a team that can follow up, and I'll talk more about that later. You're going to get one-on-one support from Tom and I, and you're going to get a chance to shape the final version of ChurchLink. You're going to get this early access pricing. There's no way that this pricing is going to stay where it is. We're going to be moving around and moving up. And so you don't need anything. All you have to do is go to getchurchlink.com. And I know a lot of these people on here are people that you know personally, Tom, who you've invited. What you have anything else? Because that's the end of the slide deck, but we can take questions. Let's see if anybody's. I know there was somebody texting earlier.
Was there somebody?
A couple, yeah. Let's see.
Oh, wow. Oh, sorry. I missed that too. I would have brought this up. Hey, sorry about that. Good to see you, Pastor OJ. Yeah. Texting, that's part of the whole process. That's what we do is we take care of the texting, the text marketing, the email marketing, all of it. So we put together your video ad, your custom made video ad. We contact the people initially. We contact them multiple times for you. We contact them with email, with SMS as well. Okay. So yeah, great question. My apologies. I didn't even see the chat. Sorry.
Yeah, he didn't see the chat yet. But yeah, this whole thing can be done for you. We're Tom and I are really, extremely busy in our ministry life, doing Worship the King, doing Share the Fire. Tom's traveling all over the world preaching, and I'm leading worship every week in my local Baptist church and teaching people all over the world, music and worship and things. And this whole project is, I think, between the two of us, just sort of a way to go, what's going on in the church. When Tom travels and sees very small churches struggling to reach people, and when I sit in staff meetings, like I've told you, and see like pastors struggling to reach people, but we also work in that digital world where we're reaching hundreds and thousands, and we have friends who are reaching tens of thousands of people a month with these kind of techniques. We're like, we got to put these pieces together. That's where the heart of this is coming from.
And you guys have got, I know some of the guys that are on here. I see you, Pastor Brad. I see you, Pastor OJ, and Pastor Morrison as well. And yeah, great questions, by the way. I appreciate that. But you guys got great churches. The problem is not your services. The problem is people just don't know you're there. In your case, Pastor OJ, you're on an off day. You're not on a Sunday. So consequently, you're kind of battling that whole Sunday crowd. And so you're kind of a different bird altogether. But yeah, there's certain things that we've found with this that really, really work. And so, some churches are like, oh, do I need my graphic on there? I need blah. People aren't looking at that anyway. They're looking at the video, the impact of the video, and they want to get those details of your church, and that's what it's going to be driven towards. So, Yeah.
it's the mind shift here is and Nathaniel asked, what ownership do we have over the videos, ad content, lead list? So let's try to break this down. The videos can you can use the videos however you want. Now in the beta, we're going to be making videos for you.
Right.
So we're going to make the videos, and it's important that our team does it because our team can make great videos. We're going to make a video that gets somebody to click, because you need them to click. They need to click and they need to put their information in. That's the top funnel. So what videos we found work, we're going to use those type of videos. So you can use that video too. You could put it on your Facebook page. You could put it on Instagram. You could use it. I don't have any, we haven't really had that question, but what ownership do you have? I mean, as much ownership as you want, but we want to kind of hear what your ideas are. Then we'll craft the video, we'll make the video, and after that you could use the video however you want to. We're going to use it to run ads to drive the hundreds or thousands of leads to you. So you'll have ownership over all that. The lead list, you'll actually have that too. You'll keep that lead list. We're going to feed that lead list to you every week, or you're going to have a dashboard that you can log into. So you can either get an Excel spreadsheet, the month or the week, or you can log in to the ChurchLink dashboard and you can just see all your leads right there. So you can do as much of that. We want you to have those leads. In fact, it's important that you have those leads because you can add them to your planning center flow. You can add them to your church flow, however you're doing, whatever CRM you're using. And we can zap those leads right over to your CRM. That's another thing that we can do that's pretty exciting, that right as those leads come in, they can go through the ChurchLink funnel. They can also be zapped right over to your lead, right over to your planning center.
Well, somebody else asked me a question that I wanted to bring up to Eric. Is they said, what's the difference between the 497, and the 997? The difference is you get more Facebook ads, and consequently, you're going to get more leads and you're going to get more visitors. That's right. The difference. So, but right now, for this time, only for this time, like Eric said, probably only for the next couple of weeks, we're going to give 100% of all the benefits of the silver package and the gold package and the custom package and all of those things to everybody. Okay, because you are a small group. You're a very, very small group that we've selected, and we're only going to take 12 of you anyway. So you understand. So the first 12 that sign up, then we're just going to say, love you guys, but you'll have to wait until we go to the next stage. So just being very, very honest with you, that again, just to reiterate, the 497 and the 997 are the same, except for the 997 has twice the amount of ads.
Yeah, it's just more gas. It's like pour more gas on the fire, right. Because as ChurchLink, everything we do, we have to think through every little detail. So we've thought of all these details, like if you pay this this much, you get the leads. If you pay this much, you get extra stuff. And you know how every software will be like, there's more functionality the more you pay. Right now, we're giving you every functionality that we're doing for any price. It's just more ads on the higher level. So if you're like, I just want to get started and just see how this goes, drop in 497. If you're like, no man, I believe in this. I want this opportunity to work really big for me. I want to pour more gas on the fire. Just go 997. That's the only two options for now. And you're gonna have basically, you can just work directly with Tom and I over this next 3-4 months as we're finishing this beta test, and you'll be able to report like, this worked amazing. This is how many families we got. This is how many visitors we've seen. Or you can say, hey, this didn't work as good as I thought. We only got this much. How could we change our ad? How could we fix this month? It's digital marketing is not. It's kind of hard because you can't just say, you give me this and I'll give you that, and it's like you're buying a hamburger. It's not. That's not it. There's so many different things that go into getting somebody interested in your church on a social app for them to click a button and to go through this thing. We've got all the automated tools that we can use, but there's always a creative dance, really. Like I will tell you, I've run campaigns that didn't work at all in my business. I've run campaigns and I have friends very successful tell me, we launched this thing, it didn't work, in terms of they launch a product and people just didn't get it. So we're going to work every month, every week with your church. Like, hey, are we getting visitors? Are we getting leads? We see analytics on the backside. For example, in my current thing, I'm getting about a lead per dollar. So every dollar I'm spending, I'm getting a lead. That's a really, really good lead price. Sometimes I ran some stuff last month and I got a lead for $23. That was not good. It wasn't as good for another project I was working on. So we're always looking at how much we're spending, how many leads we're getting. That means they're responding to the ad, that the offer feels right to them. And
Right.
that's what we're doing behind the scenes. That's all the
And
stuff
then
that we
on top
do.
of it, if you were to have to do the email marketing, do the SMS marketing, put this entire thing together, we've tried to put it together in a one-stop shop. And because both Eric and I, we saw this as an opportunity to really see the church grow numerically for this great harvest. I mean, we've seen just over the last couple of weeks a massive resurge of people going back to church with this recent assassination. And so I forget what the numbers are. I heard the numbers were up right now, 16% more people go to church just because of what happened. So think of that. That means that people right now, because of what happened with this Charlie Kirk thing, people are ready to come to your church, come to Christ, and
They
so
are. They're looking.
they're
They're
looking.
seeking.
And no matter what your denomination, because some of you are from different groups, and some of you are Pentecostal, some of you are charismatic, some of you are more evangelical, and it's fine on all fronts. But that's where Eric and I are wanting to, instead of just give you guys as a beta group just a flat template, we're going to say, no, listen, we're going to tailor it different for Pastor OJ than we would for Pastor Morrison, or for Pastor Brad than, Pastor Janet. And so whomever, you know what I mean? So just to let you know that we're willing to do that. And because you know us, that's why we want to work with you so closely and hold your hand. We want to hear the testimony that God does for the kingdom of at the end of the year, wow, we more than doubled our church, or we almost doubled our church, or we saw our church grow by 50 some percent. It's like, wow, that is awesome. That's new people for the kingdom of God, so praise God.
Yeah. I mean, it's when I look at this, I was looking at this image and listening to you talk, Tom, and I think about, Jesus told those guys out there, he said, throw in your nets, throw your nets over. They're like, we're not catching anything, and they were struggling. He's like, just throw them in, and I think about that a lot. Look, as a digital marketer, my whole life, my whole ministry, my whole career has been me, developing products, thousands and thousands of videos and courses, and I sell them. And I sometimes I throw nets out there and nothing happens. And I
Right.
get that. I've lived through that pain plenty of times. And I'm sure Tom has too. Everybody I know in this space lives through that. They do something and it doesn't work. So, but what you have to do is you can never give up. As a
Right.
pastor, you
Right.
have to listen to what Jesus is saying. Throw your nets out on the other side, and throw them over here and listen and throw the net out there. The impact to the kingdom of not throwing the net out is detrimental. If we
Right.
don't throw these nets out in the social media space, if we don't fill the churches, if we don't do what God's called us to do, and it really probably is more about what God's called you to do. Has God
Right.
called you to throw this net out? Has he called you in your heart during this webinar, during praying about this, thinking about this? Hey, am I called to make a voice into the social media space to get people into my church? And I
Right.
can't believe there's any pastor that would think I'm not really called to evangelize. We're all called to.
Right.
It's basic. Throw your net out. We'll throw it out with you. We'll team with you. We'll partner with you because we want to see souls come to the kingdom. That's really
I
all I
got
care about.
I got one good testimony. Okay, so in its very infancy, when we first started ChurchLink, I mean, very, very, very infancy, a couple of months ago, there was a pastor we were visiting with, and he was kind of kicking tires, and he said that he wanted to start a ladies prayer group Bible study. And so we helped him put the whole thing together, and in so doing, he is amazing testimony is that after just 1 week of ads going out, he ended up having 24 people show up to this ladies prayer group, prayer Bible study, really more of a Bible study. that never even heard of the church. So think of that,
Wow.
24 people. So, yeah, praise God. Pastor OJ, our church body does a lot of outreach evangelism. This is just an add-on, not a replacement. Yeah, exactly. You're still doing your outreach and all of that. But what we need to change current systems of a church is that where the mini book training. I think the mini book training, more than anything else, Pastor OJ, is just some powerful stuff that has really worked in capturing visitors to stay. If I'm not
Right.
mistaken, right, Eric? Isn't that what it
Yeah,
is?
I mean, and it's also about how to create infrastructure in your church. Because a lot of times when I was developing this whole Ask product, the idea is that people would not do anything in the church. They would go to church and they wouldn't do anything. And then I started recruiting. And for example, in my church, I think our media and tech team became the largest ministry team in the entire church. In fact, people were trying to recruit my tech team members out of the tech team because they were like, well, I had recruited everybody that wanted to be, doing something into my tech ministry. And it was like, I think 30 people out of our church of 120. I think 30 of them were active, like working in the worship tech program because of my recruiting and kind of protocol of how to get people involved. So the system that we're helping you do is, solving the problem. If you get 10, 20 visitors a week coming in, how do you as a pastor manage that? You have to have volunteers, you have to have other little systems in place. Maybe you have a newcomers class now that you have to teach every week because you've got 20 new families coming every month. So these things are going to help you, and the resources through Church Answers, the resources through Share the Fire, everything that we have, we're coming out with that. And that's what that Ask mini book is. It's really the mindset behind developing those protocols and systems within your church to take those people who aren't doing anything and put them to work. So
80 to 90% of anyone's church that's watching right now, 80 to 90% of your church are not involved in anything. And so we're trying to say, hey, let's utilize some of them to help retain the visitors. So if we get all these visitors, great, but we want you to also to retain them. And so that's what the Ask part is. And we'll give you that as well. And some other resources, and we'll connect you with Church Answers and Tom Rainer and kind of point you at some other different things. However, this whole webinar, really more than anything else, just to be brutally honest, is about moving you guys onto the digital scene to impact with effective Facebook ads, not just clicking boost. Clicking boost, the results are almost zero. And so many of you have done that and you've gotten so burnt out. And that's where
I boosted posts and just wasted a ton of money.
I did too. That's why I thought it was all hocus pocus and nothing to it until we really learned that stuff. So and so these are very unique. We're not just clicking boost on your stuff. We've got some algorithms that we put together on the backside to pump your church out there and to get in front of believers that are, most of them are going to be believers or people just looking for a church home. So
yeah, I mean, ChurchLink, Tom's right. Make sure we're clear before we go in this webinar and grab some lunch. We are not boosting your post. We are not taking a post that you make and boosting it. We are making a custom video. We are making it into like a lead ad. We're using our analytics from the back end. We're using some like more advanced Facebook features on the back. It is not boosting. And beyond that, if they say, yeah, I want to know information about your church, we're creating an entire journey of follow-up that's going to get them through your front door. I know as a digital marketer that people will read their email, but if you only send one email, hey, welcome, thanks for helping out, thanks for being interested in our church, come to our church Sunday. You send one email, nothing will probably happen. You have to really work that. Text them, email them. That's why this is a top of the funnel thing. They're going to jump in that funnel. Right. It's kind of a big funnel. They jump in, and then ChurchLink is going to send them all the way down to the bottom and follow them all the way to your front door. That's what we're doing. That's why, yes, you could make a video and just boost it on your Facebook page and probably go, I don't know, didn't work. Because online marketing takes work. It takes funnels. It takes extreme amount of follow-up, but we automate it all. So nobody's sitting there, Tom's not going to be emailing everybody for you. We create this funnel, this automation that's for you, that runs day and night for you.
Yes.
That's really what it is. I run funnels all the time. I couldn't go do all those individually. They're automatically set up to create a journey for them to get to your door. You also, with the a powerful thing is you're going to get those leads. So you could literally, Pastor, text every single person every night that opts into your church and say, hey, I'm Pastor Bob or Pastor John. I'd like to know if you have any prayer requests. And, you could do that too. You could literally go on your cell phone and text them. And I think that would work beautifully if you had time.
Those of you who sign up, I want you to know that Eric or myself, one of the two of us, will contact you personally. We need to get your details, because the people aren't going to find you because of a word of knowledge or something. You understand? So we need exact phone number, I know it sounds crazy, but most church websites have outdated addresses, outdated phone numbers, outdated emails, and outdated Facebook information too. So we're going to get all that stuff from you up front, and we're going to exactly get your exact day and time, exact location, and the Facebook ad will be made. And then your part will have to be to ask visitors, how did you hear about the church? How did you hear about the meeting? How did you hear about it? And the moment you hear that, bam, you'll start to hear one after another say, oh, Facebook ad. Oh, Facebook. Or Instagram, Instagram. And that's how people are going to begin to hear it. And that's your feedback that you'll say, this is really working,
Yeah. I mean, return on investment is massive here. My last little input story is I found my church 7 years ago here in Nashville, Tennessee, through a Facebook ad that was run by somebody in that church, ran a Facebook ad. I showed up for a Bible study, and I sat down, and I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. The biggest, best, most amazing musical churches are all through my area. And I'm a musician, so I thought I'm going to move here. I'm going to go to all these big churches, like Carrie Underwood sings up at this church in Brentwood. And, I know Brad Paisley and those people, and I'm like, I'm going to go visit all these cool churches. I saw a Facebook ad, Tom. I went to that church that Sunday, the first church I visited, and I just thought, you know what? This is the church. I'm going to stay. This feels right. How
many people were there, Eric, in that church?
Now, in that church at the time, there were probably 70 people.
Yeah. See, so in other words, it worked even way back then, and just a couple of years ago or whatever.
But it was a video Facebook ad that was run by a digital marketer that went to that church. And he invited me to his Bible study that was on like 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. It was a very interesting invite. And he told me in a conversation that most everybody that came to that small group came right through Facebook. And that small group has been going in that church since I went there, 7 years. It's probably the longest standing small group in that church. And it was just the leader of the church decided on his own, I'm going to run these little ads and I'm going to get these people to come. But he was also a digital marketer. He also knew the whole formula. He knows what he's doing. So, but it worked out so well. Now I'm there 7 years. I started, we're talking about return on investment, Pastor. I started leading the youth worship. I started training all of the people in the youth band, because that's what I do. I do music training. We now have all of those youth kids that were 12 and 10 and 11 and 13. They're now 18 years old. They're leading worship in the main service. Almost their whole band are youth kids that started with me in that youth service. And so we're talking about return on investment. I volunteered there for 3 years as the media director. I set up their live stream during COVID. I'm one guy, that came through a Facebook ad. Now, times that by 10, 20 a month. People coming into your church. This is what the kingdom of God needs to do. We need to get these people. There's so many people in your society, in your community right now they're CEOs of companies. They're managers of their companies. They're trainers. They're all these people. They're the ones that are going to be seeing this ad, coming to your church, going, I like this place. I want to stay here. How can I be of help? And that's how we're going to help you. We're going to help you integrate them. The return on investment for that small Facebook ad that one guy ran for my church was massive for the church. The church is now almost over 200 now, and they're just continuing to grow. So there's the return on investment just for a single story. It happened to me. It was a Facebook ad. I never care about Facebook ads. I don't even know what drew me to this. I just was drawn to it. I went in. I was like, this is it. And that's what's going to happen.
I mean, when I shared this with Eric a few months ago, he about jumped out of his skin. He goes, that's how I found my church. And so we knew God was doing something. And so that's, if you could put the website back up. So go check out ChurchLink, sign up today. Like I said, no offense. We love you guys. We love all of you. Many of you are friends. However, we can only take 12. So we can only take 12 of you to start.
That's 10 plus 2. It's 10 plus 2.
Yeah.
I had 10 on here. I'm adding the 12 for you, Tom.
Okay, there we go.
You got the bonus. He got you 2 bonuses.
Maximum that we want to start with. So we're only going to open it up for those 12 and none more, just because we want to give you 100% of our attention, and we want to work for you, and we want to help your church. And it's
So if you want to do this, if you believe in it, just throw the net. Go to getchurchlink.com, sign up. If you have questions, text Tom, or just go right to the website, fill out the support form. You can just text us. Our information's on there at the bottom of the website, so we can just get started. We need to get started. That's what we do need to do. Tom and I have got all the infrastructure ready. We need to get started with the beta. So we really are putting this out there for you to do it, and do it now. Don't wait around. A lot of people I talk to, they wait around too long. They don't actually end up doing it. So doing stuff, they just, I'll think about it. I might do it. And I watch those people in my other company. They don't do anything. They never do anything. Yeah. And then I have some other people who have said, you know what? I know a good thing when I see it. I'm doing it, and they can make a decision. And I've seen those people be wildly successful. So just reach down and grab that part of yourself. Like, pray about it, and let God grow your church. That's what we want to do, right, Tom?
Amen. We love you guys. Lord bless you, and we want to help.
All right, go to getchurchlink.com. We'll see you guys inside there.